Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be putting on some aluminum pieces that I made that are the table supports. Let me just take one of these off of here so you can see it. These I fashioned from some Z bar that I got from aluminum extrusion that I got from a place called Orange Aluminum in California. I think they're in Orange County, maybe. That's why they're called Orange Aluminum. But anyway, they've got this nice Z bar in the dimensions that roughly the dimensions that I wanted. So this is what's going to hold the table up, which is going to be quite nice. And that's all going to get glued on with my Cox gun over there and the thermostat. So, and here's a little fun fact for you. Here's a box of rivets, new box of rivets I just opened. 100 count boxes is what I've been buying. And I've gone through 200 rivets so far. And the bed platform is not pop riveted down. That's just the fender wells and the aluminum. You may have not seen that yet either. I put aluminum supports on the bottom of the bed platform too for more rigidity in that area. So 200 rivets so far, and I'm just barely getting into pop riveting this thing together. So your guess is as good as mine. I ordered another 500, so we'll see how long that lasts. I'm guessing I'm going to go through a lot of those. So anyway, something else that I did was I did a little bit of a mock-up here just to kind of see what this is going to look like. So this is kind of cool. Step up in here, and the cubbies, I'm going to have 4 holes for cubbies with a shelf in the middle here. Electronics and probably a stereo MP3 player, and some sort of electronic control stuff. It's going to go over here. This is just a counter space, little mini seat, and the mattress obviously starts roughly there and goes that way. Pantry is in that range there. So oh, and that's something else that came in too. My Sequoia leg base came in. I don't know how much we're actually going to use this table, but this actually is a really nice table base. So you can see it's kind of a twist lock, and I've got the stainless base down there, so that kind of twists in and locks, and then that threads down, and then that is like super rigid because, of course, if you remember, these screws go through clear to the chassis. They're mounted in solid steel. So anyway, that's going to be pretty nice when we use it. I don't know how much we'll use it. We're initially not even going to cut a notch out of the mattress. We're just going to go and use it. So it may get used all the time. It may never get used. Who knows? But at least it's there if we need it. So today's task is I'm going to pop rivet and glue these aluminum jobbers in, and I'm thinking about cutting the scratch that access door for the rear storage out, and making more aluminum deals like these are going to go and hold that door up too. And so I'm thinking about making the table and that door, access door, out of wood. Yes, Brad, I'm going to build it out of wood. I wasn't really keen on using wood because the last trailer I built out of wood sort of had an issue with rot, and it was all my fault because I did a bunch of stuff wrong. But I think I'm going to use some really nice plywood with some good edging on it, and then of course the difference is going to be I'm going to epoxy seal the table and that storage door so that they are impervious to moisture. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put these aluminum jobbers on here. Alright, the other side was the same as the first side, just opposite. So I'm all glued and pop riveted and clamped up. So about 24 hours and that should be okay. And that worked out perfectly. I just ran out of that sausage pack right at the end of this aluminum piece, so that worked out awesome. So yeah, next is going to be building some of those aluminum pieces for the storage area, so stay tuned for that. Alright, well, I forgot to turn the camera on, so here's a rear storage door slash access hatch for underneath the bed into the kitchen slide out area. So I think that'll be pretty handy to get things that get stuck or to work on the kitchen. I think that'll be alright. I had my local fab shop, CUNA machine shop, make this piece for me, and this was supposed to go pretty much in there and underneath that slide, and this is to prevent things so I can store things on the top side and not have it slide down under the slide out. Well, my measurements were a little off, so I got to go back on. I'm going to take it back to him on Monday, and I'm going to have him shear this half-inch flange off and then make another half-inch flange so that it's that much shorter, and then it should fit underneath there pretty good. So I think that'll work pretty good for, because we could do like, fishing poles or camp chairs or like whatever we can throw through this door and kind of up behind, and that'll just be more storage area. And also, I was talking with Nicole, my lovely wife, yesterday about this area right here. Originally, I was going to, this was going to be like an electrical panel with like stereo and kind of a breaker box slash switches and, water tank level and some stuff here. And I initially was going to cut this out, and then I decided I was going to leave it in, and then I was thinking about it some more, thinking, well, I won't have access to any of this from anywhere unless I cut a huge hole and then do like a plate or like sheet metal to mount all that stuff in that's removable, and then I can get back there. And then I thought, well, that's a lot of wasted space, and Nicole actually mentioned, why don't we put another small storage door right here? So I worked that up on the computer, and I'll show that to you right here. You can see that's a 14 by 16 door, I think, and that actually gives a decent amount of access into that area, and the electronics will be able to be mounted into this, and then, you know, run the wires kind of down the side or down the corner, and this will be actually more storage with outside access on top of the other storage. So I think that'll work pretty good. Thanks, Nicole, for bringing that up. And that means, and I actually also, what I did was I took this cross member, or this bulkhead right here, I moved it that way, probably another 5 or 6 inches from where it was. And so and you can see here, I'll show you another rendering. So you can see I've shortened up the top ones, shortened up the top cubby holes, and raised the shelf behind them and made the bottom ones a little bit bigger, so that we can get duffel bags in there, because I think with them being equal the way they were, it was okay, but I think having a little bit bigger ones on the bottom will be better. We can fit bigger, like duffel bag, backpack, or whatever, and stick in there, and then the smaller upper ones can be for whatever else goes up there. And then of course we're going to have the rear shelf and storage thing up at the back here that will hold a bunch more stuff up in there. So yeah, more storage and more storage, which is good, because not that we pack a ton of shit with us when we go camping, but I'm sorry, overlanding. But you know, more is always better when it comes to storage. Oh, and I also figured out that those Rubbermaid action packers, I can fit 4 of those comfortably underneath where the table is right here. So that'll be kind of handy for like inside storage for just camping stuff, you know, like a little tool kit and you know, some cups and plates and maybe dry goods or whatever else, like maybe some dry food items that don't fit in the pantry, or you know, any other miscellaneous camp, you know, fire starters and that kind of crap we can put in the action packers, and the 4 of those will fit. 4 of the 8-gallon ones will fit underneath. So I think that'll work out pretty nice. That'll give us that's between under the bed, the action packers, the new outside access storage, and the cubbies at both ends. I think we'll have a decent amount of storage in there for, you know, whatever we need. So I haven't decided yet. We might do on the rear shelf cubbies and the front cubbies here. I've been looking at doing like the bungee mesh kind of stuff maybe to put over those. I haven't decided if we're going to do anything like that or not. I really don't want to put cabinet doors, or like, I've been looking at marine access hatches and stuff, but I don't know if I want to do those, because I don't know, it just seems cumbersome to have to open and close doors. I don't know. I'll keep looking and see, but I don't think I'm going to do hatches. I think I'll just either leave them open or put that mesh stuff over the top of them. So anyway, next step is I got to make some aluminum surrounds for the rear access hatch. Alright, so here is how I'm making these table supports, and this table support and the storage access hatch supports. So I take this Z bar aluminum here from Orange Aluminum, and here's my drawing. And so I've got some dimensions on there, and basically cut this stuff out. I cut the angles with the bandsaw, and then I cut these pieces here. Those I take the utility knife and I score the aluminum in the corner a bunch of times, and then take channel locks and snap that off. So and then I take a file, clean all this up, round over the corners, clean it up nice, and then I take my MAP gas torch and I heat this up pretty hot. I put it in the vise so that it's vertical or angled a little bit, and then I heat it until it kind of starts deforming on its own. And then I've been using these weights and that's about the radius that I need, and so I kind of form it around the weights in the vise here and kind of test fit and make it work from there. So that's how I'm making those. This stuff wouldn't bend without annealing it either. You gotta anneal this stuff, otherwise it's too brittle and it would just break. But it's a pretty good grade of aluminum. I can't remember what grade they said it was, but this is pretty good stuff, pretty good extrusion. But you do have to anneal it. You got to soften it up. So that's how I'm making those. And this is what it looks like, all filed and cleaned up. Not too bad. There we go. There's one. One down, one to go. And there's number 2. So for anyone wondering what I'm using, this is the actual sausage pack I'm using. Terrason MS939NA white. There's the part number, 2069988. NA stands for North America, I believe. But yeah, this is the stuff. And it seems to be working pretty awesome so far. The fender wells that I did, I don't know, a month ago or whatever, feel really solid. So this stuff is working really good. All right, guys, got the rear access hatch, whatever you call it. Got those aluminum supports in. Got a little sloppy with my 939 adhesive in a couple spots, but that should clean up pretty easy after it sets up. So I think that's looking pretty good. Now I just have to make an access hatch and a table out of wood. So that should be interesting. Anyway, alright guys, I got my cocks all wrapped up. I think that's it for this weekend. Next on the agenda is I now don't have to make a new panel or laminate a panel for this. I'm going to use the offcut out of the door area for that, so that worked out nicely. Next step is to get that piece of sheet metal redone by Tim at Kuhn Machine Shop and get that in. And I think the next big thing is to start laminating another panel. I ordered some samples of some rubber mat, because I'm going to cover the whole inside of this thing with the rubber mat. I can't remember if I'm sure I repeat myself all the time, but I'm doing a rubber mat in here. Like, I got sample 3/8, ½ inch, and 3/4 of some like chopped recycled rubber mat with like red flecks in it to kind of match the chassis. So I got samples of that coming. I need to pick one of those, and then my buddy Andrew, thank you Andrew, brought me some big hunks of thin cardboard to make a template to be able to cut it. So yeah, those are the next steps, I think. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode.